The 2025 Lexus GX. We do have some updates to talk about, so let's get started. The Overtrail and the Overtrail Plus trim levels, which are your off-road trim levels of the GX, now receive a 1-inch suspension lift as standard. Also standard across the board for every trim level is going to be the Lexus memory seats along with the power tilt and telescopic steering column. You're going to get those items as standard with every trim level of the GX. And the only other change is going to be with the price. So the base model premium now starts at $1,035 more than the 2024 model year. The premium plus through the luxury plus trim levels, their price goes up by $500, but the Overtrail models, that's where the price gets really expensive compared to last year. A regular Overtrail now starts at $3,680 more than before. The Overtrail Plus now starts at $3,145 more than last year. That is definitely a shame. The destination charge remains the same at $1,350. And when I recently reviewed the Premium Plus model, I said in my review that the Overtrail Plus might be a nice way of getting the Mark Levinson audio system and being a couple grand less than the Luxury Plus. Well, not anymore, not for 2025. The price is pretty much nearly identical with a Luxury Plus GX 550. Now, for all intents and purposes, the Premium Plus that I reviewed, that still continues to be the best value proposition in the GX lineup because it does genuinely come really well equipped. My Premium Plus model that I tested, it came with the heated and ventilated front seats, it came with the heated seats in the back, it came with the heated steering wheel, and even a 360 camera as well. Those are pretty much all of the useful features that a person would want in their vehicle, and the Premium Plus delivered. You get Lexus Safety System 3.0 Plus as standard across the board, so you get all the useful safety tech features with this vehicle standard. And the regular audio system is fine, it sounds okay. However, if you want that Mark Levinson audio system, you can get that as standard with the Luxury Plus, and you can add the Mark Levinson as an option with the regular luxury trim and with the Overtrail Plus model. So that's how you can get the ML audio system. However, right now for 2025, considering the fact that the Overtrail models now have the 1-inch lift as standard, I'm not a huge fan of that because, let's be honest, at the end of the day, the amount of people who actually take these vehicles off-road is very slim. So things like a 1-inch lift, I would rather them add that as an option. I don't really want them to make it as standard because, you know, the more you lift up a vehicle, the more it can affect the high-speed stability. Although now with the lift, the minimum running ground clearance has now increased to 9.84 inches. So great if you're a true off-roader, and the Overtrail models will give you the locking rear diffs. With the rest of the lineup, you get the center diff as standard. The Overtrail models also come standard with the electronic kinetic dynamic suspension system, the EKDSS. And I'm sorry, there's actually one more update for 2025 regarding the Overtrail and the Overtrail Plus. That is regarding the pre-wired auxiliary switches and the onboard air compressor. Both of these things now come standard for 2025 for the Overtrail and Overtrail Plus. Again, all of this is truly fantastic if you're going to use those models for off-roading, but I think as it sits now, the Premium Plus, the Luxury, and the Luxury Plus would be ideal for street driving. The only thing that turns me off from the luxury models is the larger 22-inch wheels. Granted, they are forged 22-inch wheels, but I'm just concerned regarding the ride quality. The Premium Plus that I drove with the 20s, the ride quality was fine. Handling wise, these SUVs, they feel a bit top heavy around the corners. After all, these things do weigh over 5,600 pounds. It's about 600 pounds more than the Toyota Land Cruiser, and you do feel it in your everyday turns, which is a bit obnoxious, and that's why lifting these vehicles by an inch, that's only going to make the handling even worse. Surprisingly, one of the few key rivals to the GX, the Land Rover Defender, it's got the complete opposite handling characteristic where it feels like it has a very low center of gravity. So the Defender just drives far superior to the GX out in the real world. GX is still powered by the 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 with a 10-speed automatic, producing 349 horsepower and 479 pounds-feet of torque. Does 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. A lot of people are going to say, oh, 6.5 seconds, that's not that quick. But the reality is, in the real world, the GX does really move. It does feel quick because it's not just the 0 to 60, it's from 0 to 30, 0 to 45. You're reaching your speed limits really fast. The vehicle feels effortless at all times. And most importantly, there's never any lag with this drivetrain, no matter what mode you put it in. So you always have power on tap. Even out on the highway, you step on it, you can easily pass people. My only problem with this V6 is it's not the smoothest thing in the world. You can genuinely even feel the vehicle kind of reverberating and vibrating when you get on that throttle. It's a pretty loud and coarse sounding engine, so that's not great, especially compared to the previous gen GX 460 with its buttery smooth V8. But I guess one big advantage of this GX is the fact that it can tow over 9,000 pounds. That is truly amazing. You would have to buy literally a full-size pickup truck to outdo the GX in terms of towing. So these are the main advantages of the GX. It's the fact that it's got no real competition aside from the Land Rover Defender and the new Ineos Grenadier, which the Ineos, not everyone is going to like the way that SUV drives and the way the steering feels. That's a very nuanced vehicle. The few people that love it, well, they obviously are going to buy it and enjoy it. But really, the Defender is the main competition. And let's be honest, we all know what the issue is with the Defender. It's a Land Rover product, and those things have issues. And it's not just random stories either. I mean, people buy some of those Land Rover products and they end up at the dealership for 3-4 months for random repairs and electronic glitches. It's no joke. So even though the Defender is pretty much better than the GX in every way, I love the way it drives, I love the interior, the way that it looks, but reliability, that's definitely going to be a concern. Sure, you could say the same about the GX, but the reality is, the Lexus dealership network is typically really good, and I suspect it's not going to have crazy electronic issues. Plus the GX, it does look amazing. When I had it for a week to test out, man, this thing got a lot of attention. So if you like that, then there you go. I mean, this is one of the few boxy luxury SUVs out there. So again, low competition, amazing looks. It is genuinely quick. It can tow a lot at over 9,000 pounds. It's got some good features, even when you go with just the Premium Plus. And finally, the big advantage that the new GX has over the previous generation, it's definitely going to be its crash test safety in the real world. IIHS, they haven't tested this particular SUV yet, but we can just look at the Toyota Tundra and the Toyota Tacomas, the previous gen models. They did awful in a crash test. Fast forward, the new Tundras, the new Tacomas, they are now some of the safest new trucks that you can get on the market. So that's the problem with the old school products. They're not that safe as opposed to the new ones, which you can put your family in this and you can be rest assured you're driving around in one of the safest vehicles. So these are the key advantages. Now the big cons, it's going to be the unrefined drivetrain, pretty poor fuel economy. I mean, it's average for what this is. And the overall driving signature, it's not that special. It lost the charm that the previous GX 460 had. The GX 460 felt like a special automobile to operate. This new one, it just feels okay. Like there's nothing here to overly praise and there's nothing here to overly condemn. It's certainly not a driving signature that's worth paying $70,000 to $80,000 for. It simply just does not feel special. So I guess you can label that as a con. The other thing is regarding the interior space, there's definitely some chintziness here, which is bizarre because I said the same thing about the Tundra, but the lower level Toyota products like the Toyota Tacoma feels great regarding the interior. It continues to feel robust and solid, and this new GX, it simply doesn't. I mean, I like the layout, I like the big screen, once again the features are good, but still, it's not an interior space that screams $70,000, $80,000. But when you read the comments of my GX 550 review, some people praise this new GX, owners that recently bought it, they say that they love it and they replaced their GX 460 and it's a huge improvement. There are other people that have test driven both and they say that the old GX 460 was better, and they agree with me, and they say that the new one feels chintzy. They felt the vibrations of the drivetrain. So opinions are just mixed across the board. You're going to have to go out and test drive these vehicles for yourself. And if you've recently bought one, let us know in the comments section. How do you like this SUV? How has it been holding up for you? I guess since this is the 2025 model year, you can, I guess, say that this is going to be a more ironed out GX, right? Since it's not the first model year anymore, but that remains to be seen. If you're an owner and you've had some issues, we would like to hear from you. But if you found value with this content, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.